Okay, so here is part two of my discussion about climate change, politics. Part one had Whole Foods in there. That topic is done. Um, I'm Tom. I'm a family man. I'm a Texan. I'm an American. And I'm a man on the earth. And yes, you can be all those things all at the same time and be loyal to all of those things all at the same time. So, you know, I want to talk about um, the two big things I want to talk about are climate change and politics. I guess it's kind of like a living room table conversation. In the first video I did today, I was talking about how we're at this point where we've been using up the resources of the earth so quickly for such a period of time that we have kind of painted ourselves into a corner. Um, this is no secret. You don't have to dig very far to find people who are saying these kinds of things and who have serious concerns. Um, you may be someone who just writes all of them off as alarmists. You may say, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with how we're doing things," and human-caused climate change is a paranoia or it's a myth. But I'm 50 years old and I've seen the world around me change, and I'm not so uh, self-absorbed to think that people in the past, hundreds of years ago, even thousands of years ago, never saw anything change. Change is normal. Change is a part of life. It's a part of the way things happen here on Earth. So change is, you can't freak out about change. Um, but then you ask, why do we do anything? And the reason is we try to make the best out of the situation that we're in. We know things will change. We know that nothing is going to be perfect, but that doesn't stop you from trying to make the best out of the situation that you're in. And we are at this point where the Earth's resources are very depleted. The climate is changing. Um, there's a lot of pollution, you know. Extreme weather events are happening more often, and they're going between drought and, you know, insane rain um, events just happening all the time now. So uh, the two big things that we think are causing this are CO2 emissions, fossil fuel burning, um, causing global warming, and our land use and effect on the sea, our effect on the environment through land use, deforestation and conversion of natural land into agricultural land, roads, cities, suburbs, all that, and strip mines. We're changing the planet, and so that's something important, and also the effect we have on the oceans. Uh, Now, today is November 1st, 2019, and it's in the news this year again that the wildfires in California are extreme. Um, I don't actually think these fires this year are as bad as the ones last year, but because it's a second year in a row, um, the news media just treats it as if it's a new problem, or it's getting a different kind of coverage, a different kind of slant, as if it's more serious now. But like I said, I think the fires last year were worse. Um, And this gets into the politics, because all the things I just said, I don't consider those to be political things. I mean, to me, they're just talking about the weather, talking about the climate, talking about agriculture. What is political about that? Well, it is political if you believe it's political. And the people that want to deny that humans have any effect on our climate, on our weather, there's many, many people who want to deny that, and they'll turn that into a political statement, all the things I just said. I don't know everything. I don't know all the answers or all the reasons, but I do know that at my age of being 50 years old, I've seen changes. You know, we have more extreme weather events. I never saw a white sky when I was a kid, and now you'll see white skies. It's going to be a cold winter this year. And of course, that gets all the denialists saying that, well, since it's a cold winter, doesn't that mean that global warming isn't real? Well, it's measured and it is real. It doesn't mean there won't be any cold. And I've done a couple videos about the whole way our weather works and climate works. You know, outside of the atmosphere of the Earth, it's absolutely cold. The space is colder than you can even imagine. And our atmosphere has the level that we live in, which is warm at the bottom and gets colder as you go up. And then when you reach the stratosphere, it's inverted, and it becomes warmer as you go higher and higher. Well, it's extremely cold at those high levels of our part of the atmosphere. And, you know, if you look at a map right now of where it's colder in Colorado than it is in the Arctic. And this is just, it's not as simple as saying that it's colder the higher north you go and it's hotter the further south you go. Well, it has to do as well with the height of the air mass above where you are. So if you're in Colorado and it's colder there than it is in the Arctic, it's because it's that high cold air. So now I come to the part of the talk that I really hate talking about, and that's politics. You know, I have people in my family that are Donald Trump supporters, and I'm aware of something called the Q, the anonymous Q, or the storm, and I watched a video about that today, and it was just so blatantly, obviously propaganda. It was saying that Donald Trump is a central figure in the good guys, the patriots, the people that want to expose the criminals. You know, I'm just kind of parroting what was in that video, and it's scary because the video says that very soon the storm is going to be unleashed, and it says the names of the people that are going to be, you know, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama. Surprised he didn't say Nancy Pelosi. These people are going to be arrested and pay for their crimes. It's the point of view of the Q and this radical conservative, radical right, and it's they're almost not saying they're Republican, but it's their point of view that the U.S. government has been a criminal organization for a long time. So, you know, there you have it. That's their point of view, and it's very strong. It's very well funded, and you know what's going on with the impeachment of Donald Trump, which, in my opinion, I am for the impeachment of Donald Trump. Now, is it because he called the president of Ukraine? Maybe, if that's the reason you want to use. I'm for the impeachment of Donald Trump because I think he has been very divisive for our country. Um, and he's kind of just, he doesn't represent our country that well. Um, he's kind of like a bull in a china shop, especially the way things are. As robust and strong as America is, he's treating it like a bull would in a china shop. Um, so yeah, I'm ready to see the end of Donald Trump's presidency. Now I'm scared because it seems like those Q type people or whatever forces they are, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Um, all those conspiracies, but there's a lot of things that I think we're not told the full truth on. So it could be pretty ugly. The funny thing is Donald Trump never says, "Oh guys, listen to the Q. You'll get good info from the Q." He never twitters about it or mentions it, but they talk about it or whatever this movement is. That they talk about him so much. Um, that for sure he knows about it. It's a really crazy scene. Um, my hope is just that America won't spin off into some really terrible stuff. Uh, it's a little selfish because there's a lot of terrible things happening all over the world, but you know you don't want to see that start happening in your own country where your family lives. So that's about all I had to say. I didn't go into some details that I could have about thoughts I have on the environment, the atmosphere, and climate change. And I also didn't go into full details about, the whole Q thing. But I think if you haven't heard of it before and this is how you hear about it, it's probably already a lot. So, hope you have a good rest of your day and stay safe.